The more hits we play, the more hits we get. URLradio.net. Stacey Sturm, and you're listening to Downtown Lowdown, where I go around to downtown businesses in Bismarck and Mandan and see what's going on. And I'm here now at Lillian's with Susan Schweiters, and she is the owner of Lillian's. How's it going today, Susan?
It is going fabulously well. Love having the sun shining, yes.
I know.
That's awesome.
So now tell us a little bit about Lillian's.
Well, my gosh, there's so much to tell.
I know,
I'm not
right?
sure exactly. That's a pretty open-ended.
Yeah, you're like 11 years in business, right?
We're coming up on our 11th anniversary in August, the first week of August. It's pretty hard to believe, really, when I think about how nervous I was to start year one, you know?
So how did Lillian's come about? Were you just sitting around one day and you're like, you know what, I'm going to work for myself because that's always easy, right?
That's so far from the truth. It's really pretty funny because I really had absolutely no intention of opening my own business. I had no intention of getting into the handbag and fashion industry whatsoever. I had really been praying a lot because I'd been a stay-at-home mom, and I was really, really trying to figure out if I should go back to school to get my teaching license back to where I needed to have the right credits so that I could get back into a classroom, or really what I wanted to do. And I really kind of thought I wanted to get into some sort of ministry work, but I also knew that we had 5 children and that there would be weddings someday that I should at least try to help, pay for in one fashion or another.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, so now what? And so I ended up actually going down to a fundraiser in honor of my father-in-law, or we made it in honor of him, who had just recently died of cancer.
Okay.
And I was just so intrigued by what I was hearing and seeing at this particular fundraiser in Minneapolis. And I knew that the people running it had some handbag store. That's really all I knew. And I thought there must be a connection to the handbag store and fundraising for people that are fighting cancer. And I thought, I should get involved in that. And then maybe I could have an impact or something on people's lives. And lo and behold,
So you right away were thinking what I could do as a business owner for the community.
I really was.
Yeah,
it was more like that rather than, that I loved handbags or anything like that. So if nothing else, realized that the two really were not connected in any way other than just, if you wanted to get back, you can get back. But so it made me go that direction and at least meet those folks, and started a little communication by email. And all of a sudden, like a year later, I was opening the doors to my handbag store. So
were you panicked?
I was very panicked. I'll never forget signing the check, for the franchise fee, and then setting up an appointment to find the lease. That just was not my gig at all. And my stomach was doing somersaults big time. And really all I could think about was 1 year. I thought, okay, anybody can do anything for 1 year, and then that year came up and I was like, well, now what? Okay, well, maybe I can do 1 more year. And so I guess, before I knew it, I'm just kind of like, oh my gosh, we're coming up on 11 years here. And it's constantly evolved. We have just evolved constantly, trying to stay in the market that, the online market, and not being in that, just really trying to stay local and stay where we touch people's lives, and hospitality is the key. There's just like trying to hang on to what your roots are and hang on to what you know and believe in your heart is really, really valuable, especially when the world is kind of going in a different direction. And so that's probably been one of my biggest challenges.
Well, and as you're in business for a long time too, people give you feedback. Everybody has an idea for you. Everybody can tell you how to run your business better than you can. I know, because I own 2 of them, and God bless them. But and so and after a while, I feel like you sometimes tend to lose focus of what you're doing. It's hard to stay on track.
It's really hard to stay on track, and I think it's especially hard to stay on track in our community where the weather is so ever constant changing. People, all of us, me included, our emotions change with the weather.
That's true.
And it's kind of funny in the springtime, like let's just say March, people were like, well, when are you going to get your spring things in?
Yeah.
Well, does it do us any good to get our spring things in February and March when people just come in their winter coats and their scarves and they don't want to take anything off and they just want to look at things?
And they're still definitely feeling winter.
Yeah. Exactly. There's a trick in how do you stay in business and how do you keep meeting the needs of the community when everybody wants to just stay home.
Yeah.
In January, February, and March, and yet they want you to be there
when they're ready.
And when the weather is right. Yes. And so all of that is a trick. And just trying to meet the needs of the community and trying to figure out, how much you should be involved and there's just so many decisions, really.
So let's talk a little bit about style, a little bit about fashion. Now, Lillian's, you're all about like classic pieces. You have some fun things. You have some kind of trendy things, but for the most part, I feel like you guys are very classic, and you have a very like fashion. I'm not going to say fashion background, but it seems like you can pretty much prepare people for any situation.
Well, thank you. I like to pick pieces, and I always have to be careful that I'm not just picking pieces that I personally like.
Yeah.
And I have a few friends that will keep me like, remember, don't forget about the other color schemes that other people like, or whatever. Or what about this style? Or what about that style? So we always try to mix and bring, a variety in. But I do like that classic basic piece that you can dress up or you can dress down. Mm-hmm. So if you just change your shoes sometimes and you just change the jewelry, you can take the same outfit and it can look really completely two different ways. I like pieces that you can know that are in your closet when all of a sudden you get invited to something.
Yeah.
Or you have that funeral to go to, or somebody calls you up and they want to go for dinner and you just want something kind of special, but yet you're still just going to wear your blue jeans, Mm-hmm. So I like having pieces in my closet that I know I can trust, that are going to be there for more than 2 wears, and so a lot of times I'll tell women, spend a little bit less on the pieces that are maybe just that fun thing that you want to wear for a few times or something like that. Spend a little bit more on that classic black pant that you want in your closet whenever you want it for 5 years down the road, or that black jacket, or, there's just a lot of different pieces that you want longevity.
Yeah. And actually, people, I suppose there's cheaper alternatives other places, but the problem with that is they don't last. And so you end up buying more clothes anyway.
Well, and I think too, a lot of times we want something fun. Mm-hmm. So we buy the wild top.
Yeah.
And you buy something crazy, and then you wear it once, and you maybe don't really feel it that day, or you don't get the reaction that maybe you were hoping to get.
It wears you. You don't wear it.
and all of a sudden you're like, okay, I don't really think I like that top. So, sometimes it's just as good to pay a little bit more and get that classic piece, and then, I don't know, accent it with a fun piece of jewelry, mm-hmm. or something like that too, that you can change it up, but yet you still have that classic piece.
Jewelry can be super fun. And jewelry can be very attention-getting, too, if you're looking for that attention-getting thing without wearing the bright green, purple, red, fuchsia, whatever it is.
Well, yeah, that's right. I mean, and there's really nothing wrong with those bright pieces. Yeah. And we sprinkle them in at Lillian's. Uh-huh. We'll sprinkle in the different trending styles that are really trending, whether it be off the shoulder or a one shoulder or a peekaboo, whether it be that big bright floral print or the stripes or the animal prints that are kind of a endless. It's classic. It's always fun to have an animal print once in a while. You maybe don't want to wear it every other day, but you like having them. So we certainly sprinkle all those fun trending pieces in so that people can recognize that classic black pant and that classic black jacket is always there. Throw on a fun little top now, but you get to wear the same pant and jacket that you've had in your closet for 3 years. So it's just it's kind of a learning curve of just knowing how to mix and match different pieces too.
What are some of the more popular lines you carry here?
We're really thrilled. As of about the last 2 years, we had an exclusive line come to us. Joseph Ribkoff, they're an exclusive line out of Montreal. They've been around for 60 years, and they are located in 60 countries throughout the world. So they are name brand apparel. They have come to us and asked if we would carry their line. So what we do with them is just bring in a couple sizes per piece, and then we work with the customer to help do their special ordering for them. And that has been really, really popular, I think, with a lot of women. Once they're a Joseph Ribkoff fan, they continue to come back, and they're really quite thrilled that they know they can find something right here in Bismarck like that. So that's a great line. Some of the denim lines that we're carrying, cut from the cloth, Lola jeans, rubber band stretch, articles of society, a couple denim lines, tops. We've got mystery, staccato. Oh gosh, Lissay is just a great brand for our leggings, and classic, awesome blouse tops that I just love. That is one line that I just think everybody should have their blouses in their closet, because they wash and they wear great. Travel with them, they're fabulous. They don't wrinkle. That's my style, you know.
Now, speaking of travel, you and I were talking a little bit earlier. People travel all the time. I'd like to say we're kind of coming up on travel season, but people travel all the time. And what are your tips for some travel items?
Oh my gosh, I would just love to have people just come in and spend some time with us. If you're going to travel, please stop in at Lillian's. We are known for our travel bags. We really are. Again, we're carrying an exclusive line. It's a travel bag. It's a very lightweight, life warranted travel bag that can be carried as a backpack, crossbody bag, regular handle. It's got a zipper that can go over the top of your carry-on luggage. So once you're gone through security, your bags are together. They even have like the safety strap so that you can, the coil that like a bike safety, but you can wrap your bag if you're just sitting around waiting so somebody can't come up and just grab your bag.
Run with it, yeah.
We have sold so many of their bags, and the company is even always amazed. They're like, what are you doing? And I just said, well, first of all, I am a strong believer in this bag. Yeah. I carry it every day, and if I'm traveling, it fits perfect under the seat of an airplane, in my car. It's the perfect bag to carry my computer and my snack and my water and my books, and it's just a great bag. We actually also like to share about some of our different travel lines for clothing, just because who wants to get somewhere and find that their clothes are all wrinkled? That's really not that much fun. So we've got a couple different lines, that work really quite well. Again, that classic, basic, different pieces that you can mix and match together, roll them up, and kind of every time you travel, it's like, okay, I know I'm taking that pant, and I know I'm taking this little jacket, and I want a couple, like a white top and a black top, like that. So we like to help people with that. The travel bag, they also have a actual carry-on bag to a roller, like a four-wheel roller bag. We're completely out again because we sell out frequently, but we're waiting for the order to come in. Should be in, shortly. So we love talking about travel. And I think the thing in North Dakota here in Bismarck, why the travel bag does so well, whether we're just traveling to a ball game, we're used to traveling 2 hours.
That's true.
So even if you're going to go and sit at a wrestling tournament all day, it's really nice to have more of a backpack travel, something that's not super heavy, but that can hold that snack and your Kindle.
But still looks kind of stylish.
But it's still stylish. So whether you're going to a football game, basketball game, wrestling, whatever, for the day, we're used to traveling 100 miles. And then I think with our winter and our weather, everybody wants to get the heck out of Dodge, in January, February, March. And so it's just the travel bags, we have people come and tell us all the time where they're going, and the bags truly have gone around the world. It's pretty fun, and it's pretty rewarding, again, to see where the bag is going, and people love it. People have stopped me and just said, thank you for encouraging me to buy the bag. I just love my bag. So that too, that's encouraging to know that people are happy with what you've told them, and then they learn that they can trust you on other things, and so that's cool.
Now, for somebody who's I feel I'm not into fashion. I don't know anything about fashion really. I just know what I feel comfortable in, but fashion is feeling good about whatever you're wearing is so important, isn't it, as women, just in general, for our self-esteem?
It's really cool. And I think some of my most rewarding experiences have been when I've had a customer come in even on a kind of a quiet day. And we sit on the bench up in the front.
Yeah.
And I'll say, tell me a little bit about yourself. And she starts to talk, and she'll say, I really don't like fashion. I hate shopping. But I know I need to get a couple things. And so then I listen. And I ask questions like, what do you like to do? Where do you like to go? Tell me a little bit about what style you do feel comfortable in. So I get some of the facts, and then I'll ask them, will you allow me to help you? And they look at me and they go, well, yeah, that would be awesome. And this happened not that long ago. And I started working with a gal. It was so much fun because she kind of changed like what she was putting on.
Yeah.
And like she was wearing pants that were way too big for her.
Yeah.
She was wearing things that were way too big, and she was just hiding in her clothes, And we started changing things up, and I showed her like, well, now this is what you do with a different pair of like little pair of booties, and she had so much fun. She told me how much fun she was having. She went home with a couple different outfits that she would have never purchased, left alone to shop on her own. And so things like that, I think to me are super rewarding because through all of that, there's that hospitality thing going on that I said is so important to me. It's me validating her.
Yeah.
In recognizing that she is worth, doing something special for. And then she in turn is validating what I'm doing and what I spend my days doing. So I mean, it's just really kind of a cool exchange. And that's truly, my favorite thing to do here is when I actually just get to sit down and I can tell the customer is turning and believing me and trusting me. And do we get it right all the time? No, we don't. Sometimes we can't find the perfect thing to please somebody. So we're human and we mess up and all of that too. So the cart won't fall. Oh goodness. Okay, so we might have to wrap it up here. I don't know.
It's fine. So before we get out of here, how can people find you on the internets, on Facebook? How can they get a hold of you, Susan?
Okay, so on Facebook we are Lillians of Bismarck. Okay, so find us there. Same basically for the website, lilliansofbismarck.com. Instagram, same thing.
Okay.
Locally, 108 North 5th Street in downtown Bismarck. That's what we would really love. We would love to see you physically, shake hands, share a cup of coffee, have a conversation like that. Phone number 701-258-5303. So I think that probably wraps it up, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Thanks for being on with us today, Susan.
Thank you so much. This is really just great time. Thank you.